Hey warrior, we live in a world that tells us to hustle harder, push faster, and fight relentlessly for everything we want. Society screams that success belongs only to those who burn themselves out in pursuit of their dreams. But what if I told you that the ancient Stoics discovered something completely different? What if the secret to manifesting everything you desire isn't found in frantic action, but in the profound peace of letting go? Marcus Aurelius, the most powerful man in the Roman Empire, wrote in his personal journal, "Confine yourself to the present." He understood that when we stop fighting the current of life and start flowing with it, our mind clears, our perception sharpens, and life begins to open in surprising ways. The Stoics weren't passive dreamers. They were warriors who conquered through wisdom, not force. Think about water for a moment. It doesn't struggle against the rocks in its path. Instead, it flows around them, over them, through them, and eventually it shapes the entire landscape. This is the power of relaxed intention, the ability to hold your desires lightly while trusting that reality will respond better when you are calm, clear, and steady inside. When you're constantly stressed about your goals, when you're gripping so tightly to outcomes that your knuckles turn white, you actually push away the very things you want most. Anxiety creates tension. Tension narrows your vision, and that narrow vision blocks you from seeing the opportunities already around you. The Stoics understood that our desperation often becomes the biggest obstacle between us and our dreams. But here's where it gets beautiful. When you truly relax into your desires, when you align with the natural rhythm of reality, you become magnetic to opportunities. You start noticing doors that were always open, but invisible to your stressed mind. You begin attracting the right people, circumstances, and resources. Not through force, but through a calm confidence that quietly says to the world, "I'm ready, I'm grounded, I can handle this." This isn't about becoming lazy or giving up on your dreams. It's about discovering the difference between effortless action and exhausting struggle. It's about learning to plant seeds with intention and then trusting the soil, the rain, and the sun to do their work. The Stoics called this amor fati, love of fate, the deep acceptance that everything unfolds exactly as it should, and that every event can be used for your growth. You're not giving up control. You're giving up illusion. Today I'm going to share with you 10 profound Stoic principles that will transform how you approach manifestation. These aren't just theories. They're practical wisdom tested across centuries of human experience. They've been lived by emperors, by slaves, by thinkers, and by ordinary people who learned to master their inner world. Marcus Aurelius used these principles to rule an empire while guarding his peace. Epictetus used them to rise from slavery, to become a teacher to powerful men. Seneca used them to navigate power and politics without losing himself inside. They work because they are built on the deepest laws of human psychology and on the simple truth that your inner state shapes the way you act, react, and see the world. When you understand these laws and align with them, you don't need to force life. You cooperate with it. You stop trying to drag reality forward, and instead you walk with it, step by step. You become a magnet for the life you desire, not through manipulation, not through pretending, but through alignment, through understanding, through wisdom. If this already speaks to you, take a moment right now and support this work. Hit that like button, subscribe to Stoic Ocean, and share this video with someone you care about. And to anchor this message deeper into your mind, type this in the comments. When I relax, life flows to me. Let that be your first quiet decision to move from tension into trust. Now let's dive deep into these 10 transformative principles. Each one builds on the last. Each one prepares you for the next level of manifestation. Are you ready? Let's begin. Rule 1. Master your inner world through detached desire. This first principle is one of the most counterintuitive Stoic rules. It challenges almost everything we've been taught about chasing our goals. Here's the paradox that drives most people crazy. The more desperately you want something, the more it seems to slip away from you. But the Stoics discovered something revolutionary about human desire that modern psychology is only beginning to describe in detail. Epictetus, who went from slave to one of history's greatest philosophers, taught that wealth consists not in having great possessions, but in having few wants. Think about what this means. True wealth isn't measured by what you accumulate. It's measured by how little you actually need to feel complete. This isn't about giving up your dreams. It's about understanding the difference between wanting something and needing it to feel worthy, safe, or whole. When you need something to feel complete, you create desperation, and desperation leaks out in your words, your actions, your body language. You rush, you overthink, you cling, you accept less than you deserve because you're afraid of losing the chance. But when you want something while being genuinely okay without it, you create quiet strength. You can still dream, still plan, still act, but your happiness is not held hostage by the outcome. Think about the people in your life who seem to effortlessly attract what they want. They're not the ones constantly talking about what they lack or posting desperate affirmations every single day. They're the ones who hold their desires lightly, like a butterfly resting on their palm. They don't grip tightly. They don't squeeze. They simply hold with open hands. They want beautiful things to happen, but they don't define their worth by whether those things arrive on their timeline. The Stoics called this a preferred indifference. Yes, you prefer to have success, love, and abundance, but your inner peace doesn't depend on them. Your happiness isn't chained to external circumstances. This creates a powerful energy that draws opportunities toward you because people are naturally drawn to those who are calm, grounded, and not needy. Your mind works better in this state too. When you practice detached desire, you stop sending out an inner signal of panic. Instead, you operate from a place of sufficiency, even before the physical results have appeared. You start making decisions from confidence rather than fear. And confident decisions almost always lead to better outcomes. When you're not desperate, you can think clearly. You can see options that desperation blinds you to. You can walk away from what isn't right, instead of clinging to it because you're afraid nothing better will come. Imagine this in a simple story. You apply for a job you really want. In the desperate version, you obsess over every detail. You refresh your email 20 times a day. You walk into the interview tight, anxious, and over-explaining everything. Your energy says, "Please pick me. I need this to be okay." In the detached version, you still prepare deeply. You still care. But you walk in thinking, if this is right, it will fit. If not, something else will. You sit straighter, you listen better, you answer more honestly. Your energy says, "I'm already enough. This is an opportunity, not my oxygen supply." Which version do you think creates better results over time? The magic happens when you can honestly say, "I would love for this to happen, and I'm taking aligned action toward it, but I'm genuinely okay if it doesn't happen exactly as I imagine." This isn't giving up. This is growing up. This is understanding that life often has something even better in mind than what your limited perspective can currently see. Practice this today. Hold your biggest desire in your mind. Then take a deep breath and say, "I choose this," or something better. Feel how that shift releases pressure and opens up space for different paths to appear. If this resonates, drop this in the comments and let it sink deeper. I desire with peace, not desperation. When you desire with peace, you train your mind to remember that you are already whole. You are not asking life to complete you. You are simply inviting the next chapter. This subtle shift changes how you feel, how you speak, how you act, and over time it changes what shows up. The Stoics understood that your inner state shapes your outer reality. Master your inner state, and your outer reality will begin to align. Detached desire is the foundation of all healthy manifestation. Rule 2. Present moment magnetism. This second principle is about reclaiming your power. Your power doesn't exist in yesterday. It doesn't exist in tomorrow, yet most of us live everywhere except here. Your mind is probably living in a future that hasn't happened, or replaying a past that can't be changed. But the Stoics understood something profound. All real action happens in the present moment. All real change begins in the present moment. And if you're not here, you miss the magic. Seneca wrote, "True happiness is to enjoy the present without anxious dependence upon the future." This isn't just beautiful philosophy. It's a practical instruction for a powerful life. When your attention is fully present, you notice opportunities that a scattered mind would completely miss. You hear the casual comment that leads to your next big collaboration. You feel the intuitive nudge to take a different route home, and on that path, you meet someone who changes your direction. From the outside, these moments look like luck. On the inside, they are the natural result of being fully awake to your own life. Most people think presence is just awareness, but it's also energy. When you're truly present, you're not dragging along the weight of past regrets or the fog of future anxieties. You are not split between 10 imaginary timelines. You are here, focused, available. And that presence is incredibly attractive to both people and possibilities. Think about the most magnetic people you know. They're not the ones constantly checking their phones, half listening, half scrolling, half somewhere else. They're the ones who look you in the eye when you speak, who make you feel like you are the only person in the room. They give their full attention, and that attention feels like warmth. That's presence, and presence is magnetic. The beautiful irony is this. When you stop living only for the future, you actually create a better future. When you stop trying to escape this moment becomes the launching pad for everything you've been dreaming of. Opportunities don't exist in some distant someday. They exist in the email you actually read, the person you actually notice, the idea you actually act on today. Your breath is your anchor to the present. Every time you notice your mind wandering into what if or if only, use your breath to come back. Feel your feet on the ground. Relax your shoulders. Notice 3 things you can see right now, 3 things you can hear, 3 sensations you can feel in your body. This simple practice pulls you out of mental time travel and drops you back into the only place you can truly act from. This isn't just meditation, this is manifestation training. The present moment isn't just where you exist, it's where you create. Stop living in the waiting room of your life, always postponing your joy until later. Step into the reality where the only time you can influence anything is right now. The power of presence cannot be overstated. When you're fully present, you're operating at your highest potential. You're not distracted by past regrets or future worries. You're here, you're now, you're available. And availability is the key to opportunity. Opportunities don't wait until you feel ready. They appear in the moment. If you're not present, you don't even notice them. If you are present, you recognize them, you respond, you move. This is how manifestation works in a Stoic way. Not through forcing outcomes, but through deep awareness and timely action. Through being fully here, right now. Rule 3. The wisdom of accepted resistance. This third principle teaches you how to transform your relationship with challenges. Most people see obstacles as enemies to defeat or as proof that life is against them. But the Stoics saw obstacles differently. Life is going to give you obstacles. That's not a possibility. That's a guarantee. The question isn't, will I face resistance? The question is, what will I do with it? What separates those who manifest their dreams from those who stay stuck is not a life without problems, but a different response to the problems they meet. Marcus Aurelius faced plagues, wars, and betrayals. Yet he wrote, The impediment to action advances action. What stands in the way becomes the way. This isn't just poetic language. This is a blueprint for turning every setback into a stepping stone. When you stop fighting reality and start working with it, resistance becomes your greatest ally. Most people encounter an obstacle and instantly decide that everything is ruined. They tell themselves a story of bad luck, unfairness, or personal failure. They take it personally, get discouraged, and often give up entirely. But what if every obstacle is actually an invitation to grow stronger, wiser, and more prepared for what you're asking for? Consider the oyster and the pearl. The irritation of sand doesn't destroy the oyster. Instead, the oyster works with the irritation. It wraps it layer by layer and slowly transforms an annoyance into something rare and valuable. The sand becomes a pearl. Your obstacles can become your pearls if you work with them instead of only resenting them. Your challenges are not punishments. They are training grounds for the character you'll need to sustain the level of success you say you want. When you accept resistance instead of constantly resisting it, you stop wasting energy fighting what already is. You free that energy to navigate more intelligently, to adjust your approach, to learn new skills, to deepen your patience. Every challenge is preparing you for something bigger. Every delay can become perfect timing in disguise. Every rejection can become redirection towards something better if you choose to see it that way. What seems like a closed door is often life quietly steering you toward a better one. From the outside, it looks like loss. From the inside, it can become alignment. The Stoics called this the art of turning obstacles into opportunities. Practice this mindset today. When you face resistance, instead of asking, "Why me?" ask, "What is this teaching me?" Instead of fighting the current, learn to move with it, using its force to grow stronger. Your ability to accept and work with resistance will ultimately determine how far you can go. Because reality doesn't reward those who collapse early. It favors those who stay, learn, and adapt. Every obstacle is training. Every challenge is preparation. Every setback is set up. When you truly see this, you stop only resisting. You start accepting. You start learning. You start growing. And as you grow, your capacity expands. Your ability to create, to contribute, to manifest grows with it. Because you have become someone greater. Life is not against you. It is shaping you. It is preparing you for everything you keep asking for. Trust the process, accept the resistance, and watch how it transforms you into the kind of person who naturally attracts and sustains what they desire. Rule 4. Virtue-based action. This fourth principle is about aligning your actions with your highest values. The Stoics believed that virtue is the highest good and the only source of true fulfillment. Not wealth, not fame, not power, but virtue. Success that comes from virtuous action is sustainable, clean, and meaningful. Before any action, ask yourself simply, is this wise? Is it just? Is it courageous? Is it temperate? Wisdom asks, am I seeing clearly? Justice asks, is this fair to others? Courage asks, am I avoiding this out of fear? Temperance asks, am I going too far in any direction? When you act with virtue, you are not begging life to give you something. You are becoming someone life can trust. Most people try to manifest through manipulation, force, or shortcuts. They push, they scheme, they cut corners. But the Stoics understood that true manifestation comes from becoming the kind of person who naturally attracts what they seek. When you make decisions based on character, not convenience, you build a reputation that walks into every room before you do. People trust you because your patterns are consistent. They rely on you because your word means something. Opportunities find you because people prefer to build with those they can respect. You don't need the universe to mysteriously reward you. Your own choices, day after day, create a network of trust that brings doors your way. Think about it like this. If you want to attract abundance, practice quiet generosity. If you want to attract respect, practice deep respect for others. If you want to attract success, practice excellence even when no one is watching. Your actions are seeds that determine what grows in your life. Plant seeds of virtue, and virtue will grow. Plant seeds of integrity, and integrity will flourish. Every action you take is a seed. Every choice you make is a vote for the person you are becoming. Choose wisely. The Stoics taught that your reputation is built one action at a time. Every small act of virtue strengthens your character and increases your quiet magnetism. When you align your goals with Stoic virtues, you're not just chasing success. You're becoming successful from the inside out. You're embodying the qualities that naturally attract what you want. Practice virtue-based action today. Before you make a decision, ask yourself, does this align with my highest values? Will this action make me proud of who I'm becoming? When you can answer yes, you are manifesting already, regardless of immediate results. Your character is your destiny. The Stoics understood this deeply. Who you are determines what you attract, what you keep, and what you can handle. Not just what you do, and not just what you say, but who you are when no one is watching. When you act with virtue, you align yourself with the deeper order of things. You become the kind of person who naturally invites virtuous outcomes. This isn't about perfection. It's about consistency. It's about choosing your values even when it's difficult, especially when it's difficult. Those are the moments that define you. Those are the moments that build your character. And your character is what quietly attracts everything you truly want. Rule 5. Cultivate an abundance mindset. This fifth principle is about shifting your perspective from lack to genuine abundance. Most people operate from a place of scarcity. They believe there's not enough time, not enough money, not enough opportunity. And this belief shapes the way they act, decide, and relate to others. Scarcity thinking creates the very lack you fear. Seneca wrote, "It is not the man who has too little, but the man who craves more, that is poor." True poverty isn't in your bank account. It's in a mind that never feels like it has enough. Gratitude transforms what you have into enough. The Stoics understood that real wealth is not just about accumulating things. It's about appreciating what you already have while remaining open to receiving more. Most people live in silent competition. They hoard, they compare, they fear losing what they have. So they cling tightly, and that tightness shrinks their world. When you think there is not enough, you see others as threats, not allies. You hide information, you withhold support, you close doors that could have opened for everyone. Over time, you create exactly the small, fearful life you are trying to avoid. But when you believe there is room to grow, room for you, and room for others, you act differently. You share more freely, you celebrate more sincerely, you collaborate instead of compete blindly. And those actions naturally create more opportunities. Practice daily gratitude for what is already here. Start each day by naming 3 things you are grateful for. They can be big, like your health, your family, your work. Or small, like sunlight on your face, a warm cup of coffee, a quiet moment alone. The size doesn't matter. The practice does. Gratitude shifts your mind from not enough to already blessed. It trains your brain to see resources, not just problems. Share your resources and knowledge freely, in wise ways. When you give, you are telling yourself, I have enough to share. That belief changes the way you carry yourself, the way you speak, the risks you are willing to take. Often, it also changes how others respond to you. People are drawn to those who are generous, not just with money, but with time, support, and encouragement. Celebrate others' success as if it were your own. When you lift others, You rise with them. Success is not a zero-sum game. There is enough progress, enough growth, enough meaning for everyone. Your ability to sincerely celebrate others is proof that you believe in abundance. It shows you trust that your path is your own and that another person's win is not your loss. This mindset is magnetic. People feel safer around you. Opportunities multiply when you believe they are available. You stop closing doors with jealousy and start opening them with support. Your mindset does not magically force reality, but it shapes the way you navigate reality. When you cultivate an abundance mindset, you're training yourself to see possibilities instead of only threats, to act from sufficiency, not panic. This shift doesn't happen overnight. Scarcity thinking is often deeply ingrained. It may come from childhood, from culture, from past losses. But every time you practice gratitude, every time you share, every time you celebrate others, you are rewiring that pattern. You are telling your mind over and over, there is enough, I am enough, more is possible. Over time, this becomes your new default, and your actions, decisions, and relationships will begin to reflect it. Before we continue with the remaining principles, take a moment to check in with yourself. How are these Stoic rules resonating with you so far? Are you starting to see how letting go, living with virtue, and thinking abundantly can actually help you create more, not less? If this content is valuable to you, please hit that like button. It helps this message reach more people who need it. And if you're finding value here, subscribe to Stoic Ocean so you don't miss the wisdom we share every single week. We're building a community of people committed to living with wisdom, virtue, and purpose. If that sounds like you, join us on this journey. Now let's continue with the remaining principles that will shape how you manifest everything you desire. These next 5 principles are just as powerful as the first 5. They build on the foundation we've already laid. They take you deeper into the art of manifestation from a Stoic lens. They show you how to weave these truths into every area of your life. So stay present, stay engaged, stay committed. Because what we're about to explore can take your practice to the next level. Rule 6. Develop resilience through adversity. This 6th principle is about building strength through challenges. Most people spend their lives trying to avoid difficulty, but the Stoics understood that difficulties are necessary for growth. Every obstacle is an opportunity to practice and strengthen Stoic virtues. Marcus Aurelius wrote, "The impediment to action advances action. What stands in the way becomes the way." Challenges are not proof that life is against you. They are invitations to grow. Your greatest growth often comes from your greatest difficulties. Most people see adversity as something to escape, or as something happening to them. The Stoics saw adversity as training. Every challenge is preparing you for something larger. Every delay can become preparation for deeper readiness. Every apparent setback can become a setup for a wiser comeback. When you reframe challenges as training opportunities, you stop being only a victim and you become a student. You start asking, what is this teaching me? What strength is this building? What skill is this forcing me to develop? These questions shift your perspective. They transform obstacles from pure problems into possible pathways. They turn challenges into teachers. Build mental and emotional toughness through daily practice. Start small. Take cold showers. Have honest conversations. Do the hard task first. Face small discomforts with courage so you are ready for the bigger ones. Each difficulty you face consciously is proof that you can handle more. It becomes evidence of your own strength. The more resilient you become, the more you can hold. The more you can hold, the more responsibility, impact, and opportunity life can safely place in your hands. Resilience isn't about never falling down. It's about getting back up a little faster, a little wiser each time. It's about learning from every fall and using that knowledge to rise higher. When you develop resilience, you become hard to stop. Not because you never face obstacles, but because obstacles no longer define you. You learn to move with whatever life brings, knowing that every challenge is shaping you into someone stronger, steadier, and more capable of manifesting your vision. Rule 7. Live in accordance with nature. This 7th principle is about aligning yourself with the laws of nature. For the Stoics, living according to nature meant living according to reason, not ruled by impulse, not dragged by emotion, but guided by clear thinking and deep understanding. Your true nature is rational, social, and capable of virtue. When you live in harmony with that nature, life flows more cleanly, not perfectly, but with less inner friction. Most people fight against their own nature. They try to become copies of someone else. They ignore their body's rhythms, their mind's limits, their soul's need for connection and meaning. They push when they should rest. They isolate when they need support. They pursue goals that impress others, but betray themselves. This creates exhaustion, confusion, and quiet misery. But when you align with your nature, you stop waging war against yourself. You begin to flow with how you were designed. Align your lifestyle with natural rhythms. Your body needs sleep, movement, and stillness. Your mind needs focus, not constant distraction. Your energy moves in cycles, not in straight lines. When you fight these rhythms, you burn out. When you honor them, you operate closer to your best. Study human nature, including your own. Notice your patterns, your triggers, your strengths, and your limits. When you understand nature, you can work with it instead of endlessly pushing against it. Practice social virtue through meaningful connection. You are not separate from the whole. You are a part of something larger. When you contribute to that larger whole, you don't just help others. You strengthen yourself. You build bonds. You create a web of support where everyone can rise together. The Stoics understood that we are woven together. Your success is not separate from the well-being of those around you. When you help others succeed, you quietly create success for yourself. Living in accordance with nature means being authentic. It means honoring who you are while contributing to something greater. It means flowing with life instead of fighting every current. When you align with your nature, you stop pushing against yourself. You stop pretending to be someone else. You make choices that fit your values, your strengths, and your season of life. And when you live this way, something shifts. You waste less energy on inner conflict. You think more clearly. You connect more deeply. People feel your honesty. They trust you more. Doors open more naturally, not because reality is magical, but because you are no longer at war with yourself. Practice living in accordance with your nature today. Be true to yourself. Honor your natural rhythms. Contribute to the collective. Notice how much lighter life begins to feel when you stop acting against your own design. When you live in this way, you're not fighting yourself. You're not resisting yourself. You are flowing with yourself. This creates ease. This creates inner flow. This creates a quiet magnetism, because when you're authentic, when you're aligned, when you're true to yourself, you show up at your real strength. And real strength naturally draws respect, trust, and opportunity. This is how manifestation works in a Stoic sense. Not through forcing outcomes, but through alignment, through authenticity, through truth. Rule 8. Practice mindful presence. This 8th principle is about reclaiming your attention. In our modern world, your attention is pulled in 1,000 directions, but your attention is your most valuable resource. The present moment is the only time you have power. Anxiety comes from living in the future. Regret comes from dwelling in the past. Epictetus wrote, "Remember that you are an actor in a play, which is as the playwright wants it to be." You can't rewrite every scene, but you can choose how you perform in this moment. Full presence allows you to recognize and seize the opportunities around you. Most people are so busy thinking about tomorrow or replaying yesterday that they miss what is happening right now. But the present moment is where every decision is actually made. It's where you can act. It's where you can change. Practice single tasking and full attention. When you're doing something, be fully there. Don't multitask. Multitasking is a myth. You can't truly focus on many things at once. You only switch rapidly, and that constant switching drains your energy and dilutes your impact. When you work, just work. When you rest, just rest. When you listen, just listen. Use simple meditation and reflection to cultivate presence. Take time each day to simply sit, breathe, and notice. Notice your breath. Notice your thoughts. Notice the sensations in your body. This isn't wasted time. This is mental training. This is manifestation practice, because it strengthens your ability to direct your own mind. Engage fully in whatever you're doing. The quality of your attention determines the quality of your results. When you're fully present, you notice details others miss. You hear the sentence that sparks a new idea. You spot the small opening that others walk past. You make better decisions because you're operating from clarity, not confusion. When you're present, you have access to all your resources. Your intuition, your experience, your learning, your courage, all available in the present moment. The present moment is your real superpower. It's where transformation occurs. It's where you create your next chapter. Stop living mainly in the past or in imagined futures. Start living in the now, because now is where your power is. Now is where your choices live. Now is where manifestation actually happens. Practice mindful presence today. Wherever you are, be fully there. Whatever you're doing, give it honest attention. Put your phone down. Look people in the eye. Feel your feet on the ground. The present moment is not a slogan. It's your real life. Presence makes you available. Available to see, to hear, to respond. And availability is the key to opportunity. Opportunities don't pause until you're ready. They appear in the moment. If you're not present, you don't even notice them. If you are present, you recognize them. You act, you move. This is how manifestation works in practice. Through presence, through awareness, through being fully here, right now. Rule 9. Maintain perspective through negative visualization. This 9th principle might sound strange at first. Why would you imagine worst-case scenarios? But the Stoics understood that this practice has profound benefits. They called it premeditatio malorum, the premeditation of evils. They regularly pictured things going wrong, not to suffer twice, but to suffer less. The Stoics practiced imagining loss and change to appreciate what they had and prepare for what might come. Understanding the impermanence of everything deepens your appreciation of the present, and preparing your mind for difficulty reduces fear when it actually arrives. Most people avoid thinking about negative outcomes. They pretend everything will always be fine. But this denial creates hidden anxiety because some part of them knows the truth. Life changes. Nothing is guaranteed. The Stoics took a different approach. They faced this truth directly. They imagined losing what they loved. They imagined hardship, illness, failure, and loss. Not to drown in dread, but to wake up to the value of what they still had. When you imagine losing what you have, you suddenly appreciate it more. When you imagine difficult scenarios, you realize you could survive them. This practice creates emotional resilience and deeper gratitude. Use negative visualization to strengthen appreciation. Take a quiet moment each day to imagine life without something or someone you value. Your health, your work, your home, a relationship. Let the thought touch you, but not crush you. Then open your eyes and notice that you still have it, right now. Feel the gratitude that rises. Feel how your attention shifts from what's missing to what's already here. Prepare mentally for difficulties while still hoping for the best. This is not pessimism. This is preparation. When you've already walked through a scenario in your mind, it loses some of its power to paralyze you. You're no longer terrified of every possible outcome because you've rehearsed your response. This practice creates a quiet inner security. You know that loss is possible, but you also know you are stronger than you think. That knowledge is incredibly powerful. It frees you from constant fear. It liberates you from fragile optimism. It allows you to act with courage because you are not pretending that nothing bad could ever happen. You're simply committed to meeting it well if it does. Negative visualization is not about dwelling on the negative. It's about appreciating the positive and preparing for reality. It builds resilience through perspective. Practice this today. Imagine losing one thing you value. Feel the appreciation that appears. Let it deepen your gratitude. Let it soften your fear. Over time, this practice will transform how you see your life. Your gratitude will grow. Your fear will shrink. You will become steadier, clearer, and harder to shake. Rule 10. Serve others selflessly. This final principle brings everything together. All the previous rules prepare you for this one. Because true manifestation is not just about getting what you want. It's about becoming who you are meant to be. True fulfillment comes from contributing to something larger than yourself. Marcus Aurelius wrote, "What we do now echoes in eternity." Your impact on others creates a legacy far beyond material success. Most people focus mainly on what they can get, but the Stoics understood that lasting success comes from what you give. When you help others grow, you grow. When you lift others up, you rise too. When you make things better for the people around you, you improve the world you also live in. Look for opportunities to help without expecting anything in return. Give freely within your limits. Share what you know. Support when you can. Sometimes that means a generous act. Sometimes it simply means truly listening. When you do this, you're not just helping them. You're shaping the kind of person you are becoming. Mentor others and share your wisdom. When you teach, you clarify your own learning. When you guide, you see your own path more clearly. Service refines you. It exposes your ego, tests your patience, and strengthens your compassion. Contribute to causes that align with your values. Find ways to serve that feel true to who you are. When service aligns with your nature, it doesn't just feel like work. It feels like purpose. You end the day tired, perhaps, but not empty. Service to others is also service to the best in yourself. It reminds you that you are part of something larger. It pulls you out of cramped self-obsession and into a wider, richer life. Practice serving others today. Find one way to help someone without keeping score. A kind word, a bit of time, a small favor. The size doesn't matter, the intention does. Feel the quiet fulfillment that comes from giving. Feel how it expands you instead of draining you. This is one of the deepest secrets of manifestation. When you serve others, you stop chasing worth and start living it. And a life lived in service rarely lacks meaning, connection, or opportunity. The 10 Stoic rules you've just explored form a complete system for reshaping your inner world so your outer world can follow. They are not tricks. They are a way of being. Success, in this view, doesn't come from forcing outcomes, but from becoming the person who naturally attracts, creates, and sustains them. Ancient Stoic wisdom is timeless because human nature has not changed. These principles have been tested through centuries of struggle, victory, loss, and growth. They work not because they are magical, but because they are honest. Your inner world shapes your outer reality. Change how you think, what you value, and how you act, and over time, your life must change too. This is not always quick, it is not always easy, but it is real. The paradox of manifestation is that the more you cling, the more you choke possibility, and the more you grow, the more you can let go, trust, and receive. When you master your inner world, you stop begging life to change first. You change yourself. And slowly, steadily, your reality adjusts. Now the question is simple. Which rule will you practice first? Which principle are you willing to embody today, not just admire? Choose one. Start small. Live it for real. Then come back and add another. If this message resonated with you, like this video so it can reach others on the same path. Subscribe to Stoic Ocean for more deep, practical Stoic wisdom. And in the comments, tell me this. Which rule spoke to you most, and how will you practice it today? Remember this, warrior. You do not attract what you pretend to be. You attract who you truly are. Become the person you know you can be, and let life meet you there. It rewards those who live in alignment with universal principles. Start implementing these rules today and watch everything begin to transform. Not overnight, not instantly, but gradually, consistently, powerfully. Remember this, you don't attract what you want. You attract who you are. This is the fundamental truth of manifestation. When you become the person who embodies these Stoic principles, you naturally attract everything aligned with that person. You attract opportunities that match your character. You attract people who match your values. You attract circumstances that match your vibration. It's all about alignment. Detached desire, present moment awareness, accepted resistance, virtue-based action, abundance mindset, resilience through adversity, living in accordance with nature, mindful presence, negative visualization, and selfless service. These aren't just principles. They're a way of life. They're a path to manifesting everything you truly desire. They're the foundation of a life well lived, a life of meaning, a life of purpose, a life of fulfillment. But here's the thing. Knowledge without action is just entertainment. You've learned these principles. You understand them intellectually. But understanding is not enough. You must live them. You must practice them. You must embody them. Now it's time to live them. Start with one principle today. Choose the one that resonates most with you. Practice it consistently. Make it part of your daily life. Then add another and another. Before you know it, you'll be living all 10 principles naturally. They'll become part of who you are. They'll become automatic. They'll become natural. And when that happens, everything you want will begin flowing to you effortlessly. Not because you're forcing it, but because you've become the person who naturally attracts it. The universe is ready to support you. It's always ready. It's always available. It's always responding to your inner state. Are you ready to support yourself? Are you ready to do the work? Are you ready to become the person who naturally attracts everything you desire? If this video has inspired you, please hit that like button. It helps me know what resonates with you. It helps me create more content that serves you. Share it with someone who needs to hear this message. Someone who's struggling with manifestation. Someone who's feeling stuck. Someone who needs this wisdom in their life. When you share wisdom, you're not just helping others. You're reinforcing it in your own mind. You're strengthening your own understanding. Subscribe to Stoic Ocean if you haven't already. We're building a community of people committed to living with wisdom, virtue, and purpose. We're sharing timeless wisdom that transforms lives. We're creating content that matters. Join us on this journey. We're just getting started on this journey together. There's so much more to explore, so much more wisdom to share, so much more transformation to experience. And most importantly, start implementing these principles today. Don't wait for the perfect moment. Don't wait for Monday. Don't wait for next month. Don't wait for anything. The perfect moment is now. The perfect moment is always now. Right now, in this moment, where all power exists, where all possibility exists, where all transformation begins. You have everything you need to manifest everything you want. You have these 10 Stoic rules. You have the wisdom of the ages. You have the power to transform your life. It starts with these 10 Stoic rules. It starts with understanding. It starts with practice. It starts with commitment. It starts with you. It starts now, right now, in this moment, where everything begins. Thank you for watching. Thank you for being here. Thank you for choosing to transform your life. Thank you for committing to becoming the person who naturally attracts everything you desire. The journey begins now, not tomorrow, not next week, not someday, now, right now, in this moment. Let's make it extraordinary. Let's make it meaningful. Let's make it transformative. Let's make it real. The power is in your hands. The choice is yours. The time is now. Let's do this.